To all the brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
It's good to see everybody in here on more traveling streams. And well, first, before we introduce, I want to make sure that everyone can see. Can I see the sword?
Oh, this, yes. This is custom made in Germany.
And who's this for?
Buttering my toast.
Okay, we're getting some ones. Agdash Toast Eraser.
I like...
Good?
I like my cream cheese evenly spread on my bagel.
Very precise with it. This is from Germany?
Yeah.
You have a lot of weapons in this house, you know?
Second Amendment. 2.
The right to bear swords. So it's good to see everybody. Shaykh Uthman. It's good to meet you in person.
It's my pleasure.
In your home from San Diego, and this is your library. We want to do a stream covering over all these books, but I think first, you know, we just got to sit down. It's good to maybe get a little bit more backstory from you, how you got to this point. I would say that you really helped me get to the point to take my Shahada and revert to Islam. So how did you get into, because I mean, you don't do YouTube full time. You're not a content creator.
Nope.
But I would say, are a professional student of Islam.
Alhamdulillah.
That's a good way to put it. Professional student of Islam, and also one of the most successful people at giving Dawah, from what I can see on the internet.
We ask Allah to accept it from us. We ask Allah for sincerity, and we ask Allah to increase the da'wah. Alhamdulillah, I mean, I would say that by the will of Allah, and we thank Allah for it, we have had great success. Even as I was telling you yesterday, we had a brother come to the masjid, accept Islam. Today we had 2 people accept Islam online from watching the videos. So alhamdulillah, the da'wah is doing great. Myself, as you know, we were talking, I don't get paid for doing da'wah. I don't get paid by the masjid. I don't take a penny from OMF. What I do is sincerely for my creator to accept from me. And I think that's one of the reasons for success, is trying to keep it not about money or Patreons or trying to make a living off it, but trying to keep it sincerely for our creator and his pleasure.
You don't even put ads on your videos. I was telling you that you should monetize it, but the reason is because you don't want to have music or any degenerate ads, gambling and alcohol, directing people away from what you're trying to do. And even in your videos, you have your team's all behind here, but they have to blur out everybody in the background, like any girls that are in the back, but even just strangers. So you try to keep it, or I mean, you do keep it as professional as possible.
We try our best to keep it 100% halal, and the whole point is that we're out there trying to call people to the purpose of their creation. We're not out there, you know, I'll tell you this funny story. When I first started giving da'wah, it was just me on the street, and we'll kind of talk about how that started. But once our brothers, may Allah reward our brother Mukarram, you'll meet him tonight, he's the president of OMF, he started recording the videos and he wanted to post them. A YouTube da'i, Muslim, he reached out to me and he said, you know, we love what you're doing, but what you need to do is find the best looking girl that comes to your table that day, take a picture and use her in the thumbnail. And this is a Muslim da'i, and he does that, you know, unfortunately. And I was like, what? Like I'm not trying to spread fitna here. I'm not trying to, you know, get people to look at how skimpily somebody's dressed at the park or the beach. I'm trying to bring the message of the creator to the people. So I said, if that's what it's about, we don't need views. We don't need any of that. We're just going to do what we need to do. Do our best with our shortcomings to 100% within the Quran and the Sunnah, the way of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. And then if it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And we started blurring, and my son Musa's right here, our brother Muawiyah right here, Yusuf. These guys volunteered a lot of time. It took a lot of effort to like go through frame by frame because people would move. But we did it because we want people to focus on the message and not be distracted by what people are wearing in the back and so on. But it grew, alhamdulillah.
So how did you get started? What's your backstory? I've seen you talk, and I think what makes you relatable to people and why you're able to get so many people to change their mind about everything that they grew up with is that you have a sense of relatability. I think that there's a lot of religious people who are trying to be relatable, and I think a lot of the Christians watching can relate to this. Like someone who sits backwards in a chair, and they just try to say, they try to be like I'm one of you, you know. as kids, it's just, and it comes off corny, but I can tell that you have a background in the streets. And
yeah, so I think anybody that tries to be relatable, it kind of annoys me. Because if you have to try, then it's not going to work, right?
Right.
There's a Christian preacher, you can see the video online. He's like an older white guy, and he's out there trying to rap, and he uses the N-word, and he thinks that's the way he's going to relate. That's not the way it is. You just got to be real. You got to be who you are, right? I'm ethnically Afghan, Pashtun. I was born in Pakistan. I left when I was a little kid. I came to the U.S. when I was around 8-9 years of age. And where I grew up, it was a rough neighborhood. We used to call it East San Diego. And it was, when I got there, obviously being somebody of a different background in the ghetto, it wasn't easy. The first day I went to school, my mom sent me like a nice suit because she thought, America and everybody's rich and like that. So imagine you're in the barrio in the ghetto and you go to school in a suit with that. And I came from the UK before this. So I had a British accent. I was like, hello, my name is Usman. So the first day was fights.
Can you try to turn up the volume?
Yeah.
If there's any way to. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, so what we did is, I just went into school, and the first day I got tested, and my father raised me with this mindset of never being afraid. He was a strong figure. My mother raised me with this idea of don't back down. So the first day was fights. I got back home. Suit was all ripped, clothes, big old black eye. My mom was like, "What happened?" I was like, "You sent me to school in a suit. This is welcome to America, right?" So,
you lost the accent completely.
Yeah, growing up, just, I grew up with all Mexicans, mostly, because that neighborhood was heavily Latino.
Chad, I want to show you the picture that Shaykh Uthman sent me of him back in, what was that, the 80s or 90s?
95.
You look like a Mexican dude. You look like
a
cholo, stereotypical beaner from like the 90s movies in LA. Well, I'm gonna bring this up a little. If you can like clip that higher up, closer to your. Yeah, I think that'd be better. Yeah, that's good. Or maybe here.
Here?
No, like clip it to the
okay,
best. There you go. So yeah, you were showing me some pictures. Like you're pointing the gun. How did you go from being like this gang member, California guy, boys in the hood, to?
So the way it happened is I had a friend. He was Iranian, but he was Christian. And when I was about 12 years of age, he got into a fight with these cholos. And these were like older, 3 big guys.
So cholos, that's not a racial slur?
No, that's a gang member.
Okay.
Beaner's a racial slur.
But
we're on Rumble, so it's all right.
That's okay. W Beaners. We love everybody.
But cholos are basically a name for Mexican gang members, right?
Okay.
So these guys were gang members, and they got in a fight with him. I, having this honor mindset, I jumped in for him, and he ran. So I got jumped.
Oh, no.
And when I got jumped, my parents were divorced at the time. My parents were very secular. Like, they didn't raise me with like a religious mindset. My father came to see me, and my mom was freaked out. She was a great mother. She was worried. So she told my father, look, he got in a fight. Look, he's, this. Big old black eye, busted lip, all that, So my father, he called me and he said, look, did you cry? I said, no. He said, did you run? I said, no. He said, that's all I care about. And he grabbed a baseball bat, and he grabbed me and said, let's go find him. And he used to have this Camaro, So we're out there looking for these guys.
With the baseball bat.
With the baseball bat. And gangs always have places where they hang out. Like there's a corner, there's a street. Like in LA, you have a gang called White Fence because they used to hang out at a white fence, We have a gang in San Diego called Red Steps because where they hung out were red steps, So these guys from a gang called Lomas here in San Diego, my father found them, and my father was like, that's the guys, And my father pulled up, he got out the bat, he hit one of them, broke the other guy's shoulder, hit the other guy on the head. So, we got him, but then my father went back to his house, and I had to go to school the next day.
Right.
So at 12 years of age, I went to school, and they were like, bro, that gang's going to kill you. And there's no way you're going to live through this, right? So another gang called Eastside San Diego, here in San Diego, it's called Sureños, like Southern Mexican gangs. They were like, look, if you want to survive, you join us, we'll protect you. So that's how I got in. I wasn't trying to be cool. I wasn't trying to fit in. I wasn't doing it for
it was protection.
Out. I had to. It's survival, right? So at 12 years of age, I joined a gang. And then, in the gang world, especially if you can plan things well, if you can do things, you move up fast, right? So we were all young guys. East San Diego is around 600 people strong gang. It's still around. I mean, I don't keep up with them. But we got into a lot of stuff. I mean, we started dealing with the cartels. So, you know, Tijuana's right next to us. So we would go down to TJ and meet with the cartel guys. And, you know, I don't want to get myself too much in trouble, but,
Right.
you know, we got involved with bringing drugs and distribution.
So you matured pretty quickly. 12 years old.
Yeah. You know, it was rough. I had a lot of friends. I had a very good friend of mine that I grew up with here in Hoover High School. This gang member from LA came down. So, you know, we were San Diegans. We didn't like LA. LA didn't like us. So, and he was alone. So we were like, let's go mess with him, you know. So the guy started beating him up after school. And I was like, yeah, he's just one guy, forget it, you know. So one of my friends started, like, really getting into with him. So he started running. So my friend, his name was Diablo. They called him Diablo. Started chasing him. And the guy turned around and just stuck him with a screwdriver in the chest. And I remember, you know, watching the guy running him, and then I just remember, like, the guy turned, and then I saw my friend just drop. And I ran up there, you know, and